안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
Welcome back to 4 from On One podcast. We are three boys living in Korea, talking about Korean stuff. Gio, how are you?
Tired, man. So tired.
You look tired.
Exhausted. I
And
got the puffy eyes.
a very rare video feed from our man, Hyukjun. How are you, buddy?
Hey.
How's guys doing?
Look at that K-pop
I got my new
hairstyle.
laptop.
Is it 2003? It's got the emo look going on.
What's that hair? Lucky you can do that, Lee. I can't do that.
I gotta get a haircut, but I got lazy. I have to drink on my weekdays and weekends, so I got no time to have a. Yeah, I have to do it. living with our names,
All right.
Or from on.
So on tonight's podcast, we're going to talk about 100 days. Gio had a bit of a celebration. We'll get into that in a moment. And also some little visa advice and types of visas you can get when you come to Korea. But first, boys, wake Gio up. I got trivia for you. Flags. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which flag is similar to the Australian flag but has red stars?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah. Which flag has a tree?
Guam.
Saudi Arabian.
Oh, maybe they do.
Oh no, it's
a very
it's
distinct
a sword.
tree. What? Very distinct green tree. Takes up most of the flag.
Oh, I don't know.
Lebanon?
Like,
Okay.
All right.
oh,
next.
Lebanon.
Which flag has a dragon on it?
Dragon.
Interesting.
It's in Asia.
Azerbaijan.
Nah. Bhutan?
Oh, Bhutan. Okay. Yeah.
There's three flags. Which three flags aren't rectangular?
Oh, Nepal.
One is Nepal.
And the other two, one of them is quite interesting. I've noticed it, but I never really. Oh, it's not rectangular. A very famous, expensive country. Actually, two very expensive countries. Yeah.
Vatican.
Vatican, yes, that's square shape and very close by. It's quite a very famous country, very well-known country, very mountainous country.
Oh, that's Switzerland.
Yes,
No.
Switzerland. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're both square shape. I have noticed something.
Okay.
And which flag is
okay.
the oldest but still in use country flag?
The oldest.
Sorry? What did you say, Hyukjun?
England.
No.
Oldest but newest.
Oldest but still in use.
using.
I
No.
have no idea. Russia? I don't know.
No. Denmark.
Denmark.
Their flag is from the 13th century.
Oh,
and-
Oh, really?
oh, wow.
Very fast. I'll quickly. It's a bit hard, but which country has the newest flag? You won't get it, and I can't even pronounce the country properly.
Okay.
It's like Mauritania. It's like in Africa.
Yeah.
It's not.
Mauritania.
It's not Mauritius, but it looks like that. It's Mauritania. Their flag is 2017. They took the border away or something like this. Yeah, and it's different. All right, boys. 100 days. Gio, tell us what happened on the weekend.
All right. So this past Saturday was my son's 100 days event in Korea. It is known as Baek-il, but we had a big bash for him. The setup was really wonderful, not too far from the house, and we rented one of those tiny little hanboks for him to rock and sport, and he just looked so adorable in it. I mean, I know he won't remember it, obviously. Who remembers our 100 days? But we've took lots and lots of photos that we can kind of look back at it when he's older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Hyukjun were lucky to get invited. I was a naughty boy. I was late. How did you find Hyukjun?
Oh, it was quite, what should I say, very modernized 100-day celebration of a child, because it's like in between like American house party throwing, and also doing the Korean culture, like traditional Korean celebration of the birth.
Yeah.
So it's more interesting. Like, and we had so fun. We did the karaoke.
Yeah, the
Whatever.
Norabung, that was you guys
Yeah.
ripped it. I was very
Oh.
disappointed in my performance. I did 2 songs that I normally sing, and I just couldn't get them out. Like I was pretty sober, and I just
Yeah,
couldn't get them out sober. Yeah,
yeah, that was
The-
funny.
didn't have the rhythm. Like when you got the alcohol and you got the rhythm, you got the beat, you got the. I just couldn't get it.
Maybe you have to drink more.
Yeah.
to sing.
Yeah.
But it was good fun. It was great venue. We had some nice food. You presented some nice food to us. That was good.
Thanks. Yeah, we worked
Yeah.
really hard. Yeah.
And it was a good little crew of people. It was good fun. We played some what's the chair
Yeah.
game?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs.
Busted on
Musical
musical
chair.
chairs. Yeah.
And your step up? No.
My mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, that's the one.
Yes.
She
Yes,
won?
My mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She won.
I think
Yeah, she
Yeah, she
won.
did.
Yeah.
you were trying to give her some brownie points, yeah? You're trying to get on the good
Yeah,
side.
no one's gonna push her out of the way. Really fight for the chair. Be foolish.
Yeah, it was good
Yeah.
fun. And yeah, it was great. And actually, Hyukjun's got a whole bunch of stuff about some 100-day stuff. But one other thing I really know, you live in Ilsan, and I found it quite incredible. As I was going home, I was waiting at the bus stop. The bus stop has air conditioning. I thought that was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
a little breeze. It's a pretty good
Full
fair.
on blasting in the
air conditioning.
face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Full blown air conditioning.
Yeah, it's
Really?
amazing.
Outside?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh. Yeah.
Nice.
It's not really like outside, but it has some walls around it.
yeah.
But
Okay.
it is not like concealed.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Ice
But
cold,
yeah,
huh?
it's just got some vents from the top and just blows the air out. Yeah, it's good.
Mm.
Like it's enough to make the hair flowing. I got a video of me getting there,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is pretty good because I haven't got much hair. All right, Hyukjun, you looked up a bit about the history of 100-day celebration. We talked a little bit last week,
Yeah.
but you've done some research. Yeah, tell us about this 100 days.
Yeah, I did some research slash remembering my education from school. One really amazing thing is that if you take 280 days of being fetus growing up in mother's womb,
Yeah,
and plus 10 days, it's 380 days. But ovulation period takes 2 weeks. So minus 14 days is 356 days.
so full year.
So yeah, so celebrating 100 days of being born
Yeah,
is celebrating exactly 1 year after the fertilization. This is amazing thing.
that's pretty cool.
All right.
So that's why 100
Yeah,
days.
if you see.
Ah. Did you know that,
Yeah.
Gio?
No, I'm gonna go with math and numbers.
You just wanted the presents, yeah.
Yeah.
Presents are nice. Bonus.
Where's my glasses?
Oh, you can read.
Our present's really cute.
Anything
Really
else, Hyukjun? That's it.
I did a little research about it, and the background must be similar with other countries. The infant mortality rate is too high.
Yes.
Just until like 50 years ago in Korea. So after 100 days in Korean culture, the baby can take the outdoor air and can take a cold bath. So I know Gio was a little bit complaining about other people saying, hey, you cannot bring not
child
100-year-old
Yeah.
boy outdoor. But this is kind of like Korean culture that trying to make the baby alive in
Yeah.
you know in
Yeah.
before we don't have the like this
Sure.
modernized like hospitals and
Yeah.
you know the
Yes.
medical
Well, before modern
equipments.
medicine.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense. Yeah.
Any other celebrations to come up, Gio, with the baby? Is it just next month birthday or what's
Yeah. 1
what's
year
next?
old. Yeah.
1 year old. And some other ones with the kids, they get celebrate when the Hyukjun. Any other birthdays around kids that we should know while we're on the theme? They have
after
Children's
the,
Day, and then we've talked
yeah.
about the birthday is actually celebrated on New Year's Day. They turn age on New Year's Day, not the actual birthday. That's correct. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we've talked about
Yeah,
this
that's
all this
correct. But
before.
we are not celebrating it. But the New Year that they are aging, what should I call, like adult,
Yeah.
like officially adult. You can
Yeah.
drink, you can drive, like something like that.
Yeah.
That year is very important in Korea.
And that the drinking and the driving age, is that based on your actual birthday? Or sorry, I misunderstood what you just. So your drinking age and your birth age, is that based on, January 4th,
The year.
1960 or January 1st, 1960 or whatever it is?
It's about the year, not
Yeah, just the year.
not your birthday.
Okay. Okay, cool. Moving on to visas.
Yeah, we can move on to visas.
So this one's quite interesting. Gio brought this up, and at first I was like, "Oh, are we going to talk about this?" And then actually, the last 6 months, it's been on my mind a lot. Like I researched a lot of visas, trying to figure out how I could stay in Korea, not be a teacher, and have some flexibility to do what I want. And works out I can't do it. So yeah. So we're going to talk some visas and some hindsight, what I wish I knew 5 years ago from today, because I could have got it if I did some steps along the way. I could be pretty much a resident here in Korea right by now after 5 years, but I failed in some ideas, but I didn't know I was going to stay here that long. Gio, do you want to talk about some visas first, and then I can go on my past visa?
Yeah, I like to focus on 3 visas today. The first one being an E2, and a couple of these we've addressed in previous episodes.
Yep.
But E2 is your standard for those coming to Korea for the first time. You'll need to be on an E2 visa to teach legally, which will be sponsored by your school.
Yep.
The next one I want to talk about is the F5 as well as the F6 visa. And those two are a little different, as I'm currently on the F6 visa.
Yeah. So just a little bit more on the E2, like Gio said, it's linked to your job. So if you want to change jobs, you got to get a letter of release, and then you got to get your new job to sponsor you. You can't just quit your job and live in Korea. You got to find another job pretty much within 30 days, I think so.
Something like that, to sponsor you.
Yeah, so you have to have a visa. Even with me, my visa ends soon. My contract ends soon. I have 30 days to be an alien, and then I got to get out. Which I'll go to another country, and then hopefully I can come back on a normal tourist e-visa like everyone else does, and then get my bags and go home. So the E2 visa is very restrictive. But if you want to be a teacher, it's fine. It does what you have to do. You have to get your medical, you have to get a bank account, and you get your alien visa. But the F visas, these are the key. This is what I wanted. So you go through and then I'll go through the visa. I could have got it if I understood this 5 years ago. Go with your next 2 visas.
Yeah. Well, I was also going to say with the E2, you also have to renew annually.
Yeah, that's true.
So the F6 visa is the spouse of a Korean national. And kind of like the E2, you renew the first year. And it's only good for a year. The next time you renew, depending if you have children or not, they actually extend it. Yeah. So I recently extended mine, which was good for up to 3 years. So fantastic for me. And I think if I were to renew after that, I don't know if it's additional 3 years or they extend it up to 5 years. But with an F6 visa, basically you're getting a little bit more freedom. Yeah. You can actually have the opportunity to kind of work anywhere you want. Now, if you're Korean is great. If you're fluent in it, bravo, right? You can have the flexibility to work in any kind of different company, not teaching related. It's close like a permanent residence, but really the flexibility is out there. For me, I know we talked about me leaving my paternity leave very soon, right? This is actually my last week. teaching at my current school. And then after that, I can basically take on any job I want, really. No, I'm not fluent in Korean at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
But if I want to pick up some substitute teaching positions scattered throughout the city, throughout Gyeonggi-do, I can. I can do that. I don't need a letter of release. I don't need to be told, oh, well, if you're going to leave our school, you have X amount of days to take all your personal belongings and move out of the provided apartment we have for you. Otherwise, we're just going to report you and then you have to flee the country. You don't have to worry about things like that. So that's just an example of one of the perks of being an F6 visa holder.
Yeah. The visa I wish I knew about 5 years ago is it's called the F299 visa.
Oh,
which is,
okay.
So this visa, if you stay, the reason I couldn't get it is I didn't have a level 4 level 4 Korean course. I haven't got that. I haven't done any of them.
Yes.
So
topic.
Topic. That's one. So if you stay for 5 years on the E2 visa, and while you're doing it, you're getting your level 0 is quite easy. I signed up to do it, then I can't get it done in 6 months, 4 levels. It's impossible.
Okay.
So I was like, but the level 0 is basically 2 weekends, 2 Saturdays. You have to commit a lot of time to get these courses done. The level 0 is 2 9-hour days on the weekend. Well, you could go midweek if you've got that time off, but I wouldn't have the time off. Then level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So the level 4, that goes for 11 weeks, and you got to commit a lot of hours. I wish I knew this during Corona because it was all
That's
online. You wouldn't have to transport, but I think the closest place near me is Yongin. Yongin's 2 hours away. And then I think there's one near you actually, in Geo in Ilsan. That's the one I signed up for. Yeah, it's too far away. So I just didn't. It's too much. But yeah, so you got to get your level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. I think you have to be on this for 3 years or 5 years, and after that, you can get an F2 visa, which is basically freedom. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. So look into that. Don't set. Obviously, I've actually forgotten a lot of stuff that I learned about these visas. So please do your own research. But look out for that one if you want to jump the steps into getting residency, which is the key. Getting the residency visas. I think after 5 years you can get into basically being a resident, as long as you go through all the steps: money, education, proof, the Korean language course that I talked about. You got to go through those steps. Hyukjun, have you heard any stories about visas or any knowledge about Samsung sponsoring people? Do you know much about this? Sponsoring me, that would be good.
Help me.
Give me a job.
I think there's a visa named H type visa. It's kind of you can get a job from a sponsored company, and then you can get to live in the country up to 5 years. And then after the 5 years, you can decide you want to stay in Korea or not. So if you're in aerospace or engineering, medical, and electronic devices kind of field, then I think you can apply for permanent residency in Korea. But I heard that you have to have certain amount of asset that you are bringing into Korea. Have you heard of it, Gio? Have you researched on getting a permanent residency in Korea?
Yeah, of course I have. In this group that I'm in, a lot of the fathers who've been here for years, most of them applied for it, and now they have their F5 permanent residency.
F5, That's the one. That's the key. I think that's the 5-year one. And then a lot of maybe people that watch this as students you can actually come over here and study. You can learn the language as part of a visa, a student visa. And I think there are some visas for this where you can go do some part-time work. I think so. Please check that. I don't know. I know in Australia, the student visa study, they can only work like 20 hours a week or something, which is ridiculous because that will pay them an apple. Like,
Yeah.
but
For an apple.
uh,
Watch your apples back there, huh?
so they are student. I know, and if you go on YouTube, you can look up these people that are out here on student visas, what they can do. Definitely research it, but you can't do that. Like, if you want to come out and just smash out level 0, 1, 2, I think that's what people do. Obviously, if you want to learn some tech, I know a lot of people do coding and all that sort of stuff. You want to come out here and do some study, learn the language, and start building up your points. That's a good way. They love the point systems over here, so you got to get enough points. And my language is the one that I failed on. Yeah,
That's another thing I'd be intimidated by is the proficiency level in order
Yeah.
to obtain that.
Yeah,
I actually had a former coworker. He originally from Russia, but he's learning Korean. He pretty much speaks it,
yeah.
but he wants to obtain his F5 visa, basically become a permanent, maybe even a citizen eventually one day.
Yeah.
One day.
It would be
But
the goal.
I
Because
don't
for
have
me,
the
like, I could teach part
patience for that.
time or do short contracts like you're doing and then fly home. The reason why I'm leaving now in a month is I don't want to do 1 year contracts anymore. Like, stay for a year, get 1 week vacation. There's no time to go visit my family and spend time, family travel, and some freedom. So that's why I'm out. It's just not for.
Done. Yeah, no, really, yeah.
It's just not for
Some people get
me.
burnt out.
If
Yeah.
I found the relationship or whatever to keep me here, I get it, and I can always come back. Like, it is a good gig here to have a teaching job, get the free accommodation. So if I have a small young family like yourself, it is a perfect gig to bring up a kid. Some schools offer discounted education while you're teaching. You can bring your kid in to learn English too.
Oh, yeah.
Some schools have these
That's
sort of
true.
systems. Gio's mentioned about the health system and the government helping parents be bringing up their kid.
Yeah, government aid.
Yeah, so like, I can always
Mhm.
come back if that's what I want to do. But for right now, I'm solo, as the kids will say. I'm solo, and I got the freedom to go explore, which is what I want to do. I want to do some try some other stuff. Yeah, but anything else on visas, boys? Tourist visa, I haven't researched yet, but I think it's got an e-tourist visa. I'll have to try to get that when I come back from Vietnam. I haven't read what to do yet, but I think
Well, what would you have wanted to do if you weren't teaching and if you could still stay in Korea? What kind of field could you see yourself in?
uh that's the thing. I don't know. Like, with the language barrier,
Yeah.
like maybe go like the only thing I can think is go into own a pub with Hyukjun or something
Yeah,
like
or
that.
hospitality business, something like
Yeah.
that. Or working at a hostel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get some
or
free
just do
accommodation there.
short contracts or something like that, like 2 months, and then go somewhere. Or I don't know. That's why
Nice.
it's not for me right now. It's not.
Yeah.
That's
So I think for me, even to switch over to F5, apart from these tests, I have to be living in Korea for at least 2 years minimum,
Yeah.
which I think that's already coming up next June, or I'm sorry, next January anyway.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, finances, I need certain finances.
Yeah. You got to share all the documentation and stuff. Yeah. It's pretty complicated, but I understand that. You can't make it easy. Like, you know, you want people committed to the country, like learning the language. Like, it is pretty tough. Like, the one I saw, I think level 3 or something, it is like 10, 11 weeks, full days. Like, you got to sacrifice your weekend for 10 weeks to get these courses done. If you're lucky enough, it's near your local town. But for me, going to Ilsan, which I went to your party on the weekend, hour and a half, 2 hours each way.
That's ridiculous.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
But it's good commitment to see if people really want the visa. Yeah. So
yeah.
If you want it, you got to earn it. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually part of a couple of Facebook groups as well. Like one specifically is called Job Openings for F2, F6 visas.
Yeah.
And another one is just non-teaching jobs in Korea. But like they said, a lot of them is usually like labor work, farming, construction, and then like hotels,
factory
workers,
workers,
like that. Factory work, things like that.
Yeah, there's options out there.
There are.
I'm sure they're working hard in questionable conditions, but
being taken advantage of at the same time. Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Hyukjun? What would your dream job in Korea? What should people do in Korea? What would be a good job?
That's a very tough question.
Is
Oh,
it?
I don't know.
Soju bar?
Uh, there's a lot of such bars. So
You could do like tourism,
I
travels.
um, yeah, I think like tourism is good, but right now it's very the corona situation is blocking everything. So
Yeah.
um well, probably English teacher, being an English teacher in Korea is kind of good.
Yeah.
Especially your like I don't want to do a racial profile, but if you're white, you can speak proper English, then you can have some a little bit of privilege in getting a English teaching job in Korea
That's true.
because uh, I don't want to admit it, but still in Korea we use a lot of like racial profiles.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we didn't say that.
like hagwons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like public schools they try not to have this racial profile, but hagwons, the like private academies, they are only hiring
Americans.
yeah.
Yeah, like we did this. Me and Jared did a teaching in Korea podcast. We go through all these positives and negatives. Look out for that podcast on our Spotify or whatever. But yeah, like there are
Yeah.
there are countries,
Wherever we are, wherever you're listening to this from.
countries, like people speak much better English than me and know the
Yeah.
rules much better than me. But you got to be part of the 7 countries to get the E2 visa, and it sucks. Like there's a lot of people who speak better English than me, and even then, I am part of the 7 countries. I've been getting rejected from jobs in Seoul because I'm not American. So
Mhm.
it is what that's how
I
it
have
is.
first experience with that because I gave my employer, a 2 months notice.
Yeah.
I'll be leaving. And although it wasn't really up to me, I wasn't obligated to find my replacement, and I still don't think we did.
Yeah.
But I figured, hey, let me help you out. Let me give a lending hand. So as I'm going on these Facebook groups, trying to reach out, saying, hey, this is my location, this is our school, yada, yada, yada. I had all these applicants come in, and a big chunk of them were people outside of those 7 countries. So obviously I had to be the person to tell them, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
You're from Thailand or you're from here, but a big chunk from South Africa. A lot of South Africans like to apply.
South African
but
can get a visa.
you just I'm sorry?
South Africans is okay.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Uh.
But I had to let them know that certain people were very, very picky.
Oh, your bosses.
Yes, it's not up to me. They're from South Africa. Great. Sure, wonderful. You meet all the requirements, you got the degrees, sure, whatever. A lot of them already had all their documents, but they weren't really the how do I say this thing?
Yeah.
They didn't have the appeal, the appeal that these private hagwons want.
That Hollywood voice. Yeah.
Kind of. That's unfortunate. Yeah. So you kind of feel bad for that. Yeah.
But a little bit of summary, like what I said on that teaching podcast. If you can come here and the teaching job is okay for you, you're gonna stay. You're pretty much gonna stay for at least 2 years, 3 years. So do the level 0, start learning Korean, do the level 1, just slowly chip away at it. Because if the teaching job is acceptable to yourself, I did it for 5 years, 1 year maybe too many, but I survived, and it's a really good job. It's a good lifestyle. Slowly check out the visa process for the next stage. See what you need, see what paperwork you need. Just be prepared, just in case you do want to stay here in Korea longer than 5 years, or the 5-year mark seems to be the key mark. So if you're going to be here for 5 years, you can start bumping up your visa level. So just bear in mind, if you like the teaching job or the teaching job is acceptable, you're probably going to stay. That's what I would say.
Actually, have you guys heard about this kind of like license or the diploma named TESOL?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. If you have the TESOL license or diploma, then I think it'll be much more easier to get a decent job in Korea as a like English teacher. Right.
I find I'm started researching jobs in Vietnam and Thailand. They definitely want that. I don't know about you, Gio. No one in Korea's ever asked me for that. I don't know about you, Gio.
No one's ever, and I actually use my certificate
Yeah.
to negotiate a higher wage.
Oh, really?
Like I do that, yeah, because I said I took all the time to do it because it's 120 hours.
Yeah.
So I said, just give me more money.
Yeah.
Make it worth my time.
But I have
So,
seen in
yeah.
Thailand and Vietnam that it's a big deal to have this course. So, but me personally, no one's actually asked me for this. I should have got pay rise by the sounds of it, but
Yeah.
you gotta know how to
whoops,
negotiate.
too late now.
That's what I do, because before I would
Yeah.
just take any job. As long as I was close to soul. Now I just tell the like recruiter straight up, I'm like, look, I got a family now. I need more money. I need a housing allowance. Give me the housing allowance. Take as much as you can, squeeze it out of them. So
Yeah. All right, boys. That's pretty good about the visas. Obviously, everything we said right now can change. So go on and do your own research. The teaching visas, we did a whole teaching podcast. Go check that out. It's really good information. The steps that you have to go through. Go check out that podcast.
Yeah, please do.
And then, Joe, we had a great weekend. Thanks for the invites. Boys, we've got summer vacation coming really soon. We'll talk about that on the next podcast. Joe, do you want to wrap it up with something?
I sure do. Absolutely. All right. So for those that have been tuning in every single week, listening to our beautiful voices, we thank you for supporting our podcast. If you want to receive updates whenever we release new episodes, head over to our website and sign up to our mailing list. And follow us across all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. We're now on Linktree and Meetup for announcements and events that we will be hosting in the future. And then if you can, remember to like our videos, subscribe to our channel on YouTube to kind of expand our audience and grow. And last but not least, if you haven't already, please take the time to rate our podcast. It does help us in the long run. Please and thank you. Until next week.
Haters.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Peace.